Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Chef Greycat's Kitchen. Sorry I haven't been here in a while. Life is just full of things you gotta do and you can't spend all the time in the kitchen. Well, now that the summer's pretty much over and we're gonna be getting back soon into some cooler temperatures, I wanted to share with you a super easy way to make an artisan bread. Basically, there's 5 ingredients. This is 1 teaspoon of coarse kosher salt. This is 1 heaping teaspoon of sugar. This is 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast. And this is 3 cups of bread flour. To that, we have 1 3/4 cups of warm water, which we're going to add the sugar to. And we'll give that a little stir. And the water is about 115 to 120, 22. I keep it in that range so I can get a good blossom from the active dry yeast. And that's going in there. Okay, we're going to let that sit. And we'll move up the stage. And we'll bring in our beautiful KitchenAid mixer. Our antique. An original Hobart. Okay, so our 3 cups of flour are now in the, I like to get all the flour out, but I can tap out. Okay, they're in there and we're mixing it up, and so that the coarse sugar isn't all in one lump and starts killing off our beautiful blossom when it happens. Okay, so as for the implements, we're pretty much done with them. Like I said, this is super easy. The only thing you're really going to need is a large Dutch oven. And I will show you that when we return after the yeast has blossomed. Also, if you have a paddle mixer like this or a plain paddle, this will take about at the most 2 minutes. Anyway, I will be back when this is fully blossomed and we're ready to add it. And then I'll show you the Dutch oven I'm going to use. Okay, see you guys in just a little bit. Okay everyone, I'm back. The yeast has blossomed, as you can see in this picture here. Okay, and that's the Dutch oven size you need, a nice large Dutch oven, because the way you're going to make this bread is after we let it rise, we mix it and we let it rise, and I'll show you how easy it is to mix. Okay, we lock our machine, and I just basically tap, and it does throw some. That's why I tap it. It's throwing some flour. Okay, it's not going to throw flour anymore. Okay, so we're doing this here for about 30 seconds, 40 seconds. It's not a big deal. Once I see that all the solid and or the dry and wet ingredients are incorporated, I'm going to turn it up a bit. And I'll let it go about 1 minute so it can develop some gluten in there. In the meantime, I'm going to have a spatula here. Freshen out the dishwasher. I'm going to show you a quick trick that I use when I need to scrape the sides of a bowl. Okay, that's about all the mixing you need to do. You can actually do the mixing by hand. It just takes a few minutes longer. And I'll show you my trick about the spatula thing here in just a second. Okay, I've got a spatula here that I just put a little bit of cooking spray on, the spray on oil. And this way, as I scrape off my beater and everything else I want to get down, because I don't want to waste any dough. So, and it's going to be sticky. So, okay, we're done with that. I'll plop that in a bowl of water. Okay, I'm going to loosen this, and then what I'm going to do is just scrape down. As you see, I'm scraping down. It doesn't matter if you get 100% of it. You just want to get most of it down into a ball shape. And by having that oil, you're not constantly fighting your spatula who's picking up the dough. And that's just a little trick on one of these rubber spatulas, neoprene spatulas. Okay, that's basically what it's going to look like. Just a blob of kind of runny dough. Alright, now we're going to cover that with plastic wrap. I'll get my Dutch oven out of the way. Alright, let me grab my plastic wrap. I'm going to cover the bowl. I think you can see that. And then give myself enough extra so I can use this fancy dancy slide cutter. And I really like that because I'm terrible with the damn fancy plastic wraps that you have to tear off. I end up losing half a roll just to get one piece. Okay, so that's it. This is going to sit about 1 hour at room temperature. In the winter, when it's cooler and you've got a little more humidity in your house, it can take up to 2 hours. But because I live here in Montana, it's very dry. We don't have nearly the humidity of the east and west coasts. And it's a warm day today. It's about 85 in the house here. So this should probably take an hour or so. So I'll be back in an hour or so and then show you how we do our final prep. And then we'll fire up the oven to 450 degrees and we'll preheat our Dutch oven. Okay, be back in a few minutes. Bye-bye. Okay, so I've preheated my Dutch oven to 450 degrees, and when the oven came up to temp, I gave it another 10 minutes. I'm going to pull the Dutch oven out. These are silicone insulated gloves. Do not grab a Dutch oven with anything else or less, because these temperatures are just too hot for straight thin cloth gloves or anything else, or pot holders. Okay. Now, you'll see my Dutch oven has turned a deep dark red, and that's because it's hot as heck. I'm going to move the lid. And then, the last step is I'm going to give a quick spritz of water on the top here, just to get a little extra crust. And you can see that our bread has risen more. And don't do this at home. I am a professional. So that's how you do it into the Dutch oven. Done. Okay, you grab your lid with the pot holders. Do not forget the pot holders or your pot holder gloves. Okay, now it's in there, safe and secure. I'm getting my second glove on, and it's going into the oven at 450 degrees on the middle rack because our Dutch oven is tall. And the reason that I used an upside down cookie sheet is not to burn the counter. You know, these Dutch ovens get so damn hot that you can actually, damage your counters or your cutting boards or whatever. But if you put it on, flip over a cookie sheet, you've got an air gap, and then see, pops up as it cools, and you're good to go. Now, 450 for 10 minutes with the lid on the Dutch oven. Then I'm going to come back after 10 minutes and take the lid off, and and we're going to continue to let it cook for another 20 minutes with the lid off to give us that beautiful crust. Alright, I'm going to stop right now, and then I will come back when we are fully cooked. Again, 10 minutes with the lid of the Dutch oven on at 450 degrees, and then we're going 20 minutes at 450 degrees with the lid off. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. Okay, it's been 10 minutes now at 450 degrees with the lid on. So again, using my silicone oven gloves, I'm going to pull the lid off. Okay, the lid is now off. And I'm just going to push it back to the center of the rack, and the rack goes back in. And the rack is set at the center height because of the height of the Dutch oven. And you can see how deep this has become, almost a brown. That's how hot it is. But again, with a cookie sheet turned upside down so that there's a air dam between that and the counter, I won't have any burning of my counter. Won't have any issues with that. And again, silicone gloves. So now it's going to cook for another 20 minutes or so. You're going to check it. You'll look at it after 20 minutes and see if it needs to be a little more brown. But yeah, that's about where we're at. I am dedicating this video to my sister Ann. Without her, I wouldn't be here. So anyway, I'm glad to be in the kitchen. I send my love to all the fans out there, and if you like the video, please subscribe. I will show you the finished product in 20 minutes or so from now. And everybody stay safe. Mask up and stay away from that damn Delta variant. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. Bye-bye. Okay, so here we have our bread as it comes out of the oven, and it's still in the Dutch oven. It's way hot, just came out after 21 minutes, and I'm going to let this cool for about 10 minutes on top of the inverted cookie sheet tray, and then I will pull it out, put it on a wire rack, let it cool a little more, and then I'll cut it in half and show you the final product. Alright, that's it for now. I'll be back in about, half an hour or so. Okay, bye for now. Okay, our bread has now cooled. I took it off the wire rack. I'm going to grab a nice sharp kitchen knife, and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. It's still warm. Probably shouldn't be doing this for another 30 minutes, but I want to get this video done and uploaded to you guys so you can all enjoy this recipe well, from now on and forever. Now, if you want a taller loaf, cut the water back to 1.5 cups. Okay, it'll be slightly drier, and when it comes off of the paddle, it'll be more firm. It'll be in a bowl-like state once you're done mixing it. There it is. It's a beautiful crumb. It's nicely cooked. Holds butter well when warm. Makes for great sandwich bread. I'm going to have it tonight with some Italian pasta, and to keep it, I'm just going to put it back into my cooled Dutch oven and put the lid back on, and then once I use up most of it by tomorrow or whenever I use it, it'll go into a plastic bag. Couple of tips and tricks. If you're going to buy flour, buy bread flour at either Costco or Sam's. You can get a 25-pound bag for about $8, and if you've ever seen the 5 pounds at $3, you end up paying, $3.96 a 5-pound bag of flour, and heck, 2 of those will pay for $25 or 25 pounds worth of bread, and that keeps it affordable. And see if you can buy your active dry yeast in 1-pound vacuum sealed blocks. That's the only way to go. And so this loaf probably turns out costing somewhere in the 60-cent range. If you want to make it more artisan and develop the flavor a little bit better, once you put it in your bowl and you cover it with the plastic wrap to let it rise, once it's risen before you throw it in the Dutch oven, you can actually take it, transfer it to your refrigerator and let it set up for another 3-4 hours, and you'll get a more robust flavor into it, though this is actually very tasty as it is. But it'll develop those flavors from the yeast, from the gluten and the flour, and then bring it out, let it come to room temperature, then put it on the parchment paper, use the oiled spatula to get it out of the bowl, and let it rise while your Dutch oven heats up. Then bake it as normal, 10 minutes at 450 with the lid on, and then 20 minutes at 450 with the lid off. And there you go. I hope you will enjoy. Love you all, and I'll post the recipe along with this video online. Okay, bye for now.